Good evening and welcome, friends. This Sunday edition of 2024 Which Way Today, in which we get to you three stories from the campaign which help you decide which way the wind is blowing so that you can get to choose the mandate that you deserve. Tonight, Shawan joins me, and Shawan, would you introduce the story?
Well, in fact, there is no break when it comes to political campaigning, particularly on a Sunday. And there's a lot that has happened this Sunday in the national capital and also in the other seats. Tonight we have chosen three stories for you, ladies and gentlemen, which gives you a sense of what's really happening in three different parts of the country. Let's first begin with the story number one, that is the rallies that are taking place in the national capital. Remember, with Arvind Kejriwal out on interim bail, he's perhaps making the most of the situation on the ground with that big rally that has also been conducted by the Prime Minister. So it's all guns blazing from both sides, the BJP as well as the Aam Aadmi Party. Shifting focus now to the second story, which is coming in from the state of West Bengal, where the Prime Minister has essentially dared Mamata Banerjee. This after Mamata Banerjee has called all monks in the state as BJP agents. Now, where does the statement really come from? We'll get you more details on that. And finally, Baramulla goes to vote on Monday. This comes after there has been a historic turnout in Srinagar. In the past too, we have seen Baramulla has come out usually in larger numbers, but would things really change? Because there are very interesting candidates who are contesting this time from Baramulla. Also, the question would also be asked about for Omar Abdullah shifting his seat to Baramulla. These are the three stories that we are getting to you tonight on Which Way Today.
All right, so let's get in detail of the three stories, and each story with three angles. So the story one, the Delhi rallies that took place yesterday, but then the political aspects coming out and the impact for the electorate of Delhi. Amid Assaultgate row, Rahul says will vote for Kejriwal and vice versa. Kejriwal will vote for the Congress party. Interesting that Rahul Gandhi does not have a Congress candidate to vote for where he stays in New Delhi. And the second angle to the story is Prime Minister tearing into INDI on corruption while giving his first address or stump speech from Delhi. And then, of course, we also had Prime Minister saying democracy runs in my veins. Remember, when he addressed that rally in Delhi yesterday, there were diplomats from 13 countries sitting there as part of a BJP outreach, including 8 top diplomats, as in ambassadors and high commissioners there. So those are the three aspects that we're going to discuss. Joined in by guests in the studio, Shawan, Professor Pranay Agrawal, political analyst, leans towards the BJP, he's to my left, and Ashwini Mishra, political analyst, leans towards the Congress party. Shawan, you can take the first question.
Well, in fact, Professor Pranay, let me begin by asking you, many also view the interim bail granted to Arvind Kejriwal as an opportunity that has been given to it. Very, one would say surprising that even the Home Minister has said that this has been seen as, quite unusual. Arvind Kejriwal is making the most of it. Do you believe that this is going to have its own impact, especially post the Assaultgate episode?
So absolutely. The way I see it, please appreciate, there are different professions, right? So tomorrow, if a doctor says that I have an important surgery and therefore I should be granted bail, plus you have a plethora of political leaders, now Soren being one, right, who would be in jail and who would then claim similar privilege as Mr. Kejriwal. So yes, it can have long-term consequences for the nature of our polity and elections. One is that. And then, of course, you also see that what has happened with Swati Maliwal once Arvind Kejriwal has been released from jail, right? So that cannot be shrugged aside. And it is very ironic that a party which was, founded on the basis of a people's movement, the anti-corruption movement, that is seeing its, it being torn to pieces literally by questioning the very fundamentals of the movement it began on. Mm-hmm. Long back, when the Nirbhaya episode took place in Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party and the Anna Hazare movement, they were literally at the forefront, demanding justice for Nirbhaya. And now you have the same party its own Rajya Sabha MP being attacked in the CM's house and the party being defiant and accusing the victim.
Let's take this to our guest leans towards the Congress party, Ashwini. Ashwini, such dire states for the Congress. Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi don't have a Congress candidate to vote for because they had to give the seat over to the Aam Aadmi Party. So Rahul Gandhi seems to be making a virtue out of necessity when he says that, okay, fine, for the sake of INDI, we'll vote for Aam Aadmi Party. But look at what's happening. Mamata Banerjee says, no Indi-Pindi in Bengal.
See, you put up two different questions. So first, on the Rahul Gandhi, see, the India Gathbandhan whole coalition the India coalition is coming together to battle the anarchy of BJP. It doesn't matter who's the candidate, who's the candidate fighting from a particular constituency. It is the India alliances which is fighting on the entire country, and 450 candidates are there who are having one-to-one fight with BJP candidates. So it does not really matter whether who's the candidate in the constituency where Rahul Gandhi has to vote or who's the candidate in the constituency where Arvind Kejriwal has to vote. The vote, they are all voting towards not bringing in BJP again in the power. And that is the sole motive. It does not matter to Congress.
Now, why does it not matter? It should matter. The Congress party should have. If Congress party wants to come to power, it should be contesting on more seats.
It's not the Congress party alone which will come to power. The India Alliance will come to power, and it will definitely come to power the way they are campaigning. It's not that, see, it's not about Kejriwal or Rahul Gandhi. It's about what BJP has done in 10 years. BJP has been in opposition for so long that they have a habit of questioning the people. Even when they are in 10 years in government, they are still questioning. They are not answering. They should be answering the questions, because when you are government,
Okay, you should be answering the questions, right? Why ask questions? He asks. 10 years in power, you should be answering questions,
So
not
yes,
asking questions.
The Congress has been in power for the better part of our independent Indian history. So the Congress cannot shirk away its responsibility for answering for those questions which, there are legacy issues which the Modi government is dealing with. So one is, of course, that, and of course, the PM's agenda, I would say, or the BJP's agenda is also very constructive. In the sense, the PM has gone to the people with a track record of governance, with a track record of delivering on his promises, be it the Ram Mandir, be it now, steps being taken towards the Uniform Civil Code, be it the revocation of Article 370, right? Apart from the very basics,
Right.
like pani, har ghar jal, like toilets. Before 2014, about 1/3 of India's population had toilets. So campaigning, any party does try to pick up emotive issues, and so does the BJP. The BJP, of course, is a political animal. So it will do what it can to win elections. The BJP is very mindful of that, and it attacks the opposition where it is uneasy. Whether it is the anti-Hindu, anti-Sanatan statements by India Alliance leaders, or whether it is the cracks in the alliance which are showing through day in and day out. So the BJP, of course, being a political party, being the largest political party democratically elected in the world, it is bound to raise up these issues.
But you see, because we are discussing Delhi, Mr. Ashwini Sharma,
Mishra.
You see, in Delhi, your president Arvind Singh Lovely left just in the midst of elections, in fact, joined the BJP. You're sharing seats with the Aam Aadmi Party. You are in a situation where oldies like JP Agrawal, right? They are effectively taking care of the party campaign, old war horses, so to say. So the Congress, even in Delhi, seems so jaded.
See, if you look at traditional politics, the politics used to be of face, philosophy and character. Now, if you look at the new politics, what BJP is doing, they have removed the philosophy and basically philosophy and character from it. It's a pure politics of face right now. So even Delhi people understand that to tackle the Modi, you have to go in the same way what BJP is fighting for, right?
How
so
are you
it's
any different?
so no. So the difference is in terms of what you go to vote for. When you go to polling booth, what exactly comes to your mind? What all information you have consumed? What all things you have seen?
I tell you, a typical Congress voter.
Yeah.
What a typical Congress voter would be thinking in East Delhi, for example, that they don't have anyone from their own cadre. Kanhaiya Kumar is from the CPI. Last election he contested from the CPI. Don't you have your own cadre? Because Udit Raj, contested last election from the BJP. Now he's contesting from the Congress. So obviously Congress is in a quandary.
I don't agree with that. In general elections, generally the local candidate or who is fighting election has a role, but entirely it doesn't depend on that one individual. The point is that when you look at, say, give an example of Kanhaiya Kumar itself. He's a very vocal. He is the one. People will vote for him not just because he's fighting from Congress. He is vocal, so vocal, and he has been taking Narendra Modi again and again on a task. He's been questioning the.
Okay.
See, I remember one statement from him. He never said that I am against Modi. He said I am against for the policies what Modi has.
Who said that?
Kanhaiya Kumar did that. He said that I'm not against Modi. I am against what he has done to the nation. He promised certain things. He promised certain agenda. He promised certain.
He also said,
did not deliver it.
Azadi.
Sorry.
He also said, "Hum kya chahte hai azadi."
Yeah, everyone wants freedom, and we deserve freedom. Do you think
we are already in a free country?
No, it's a free country, but free country doesn't mean just the Article 19 or 21 of Brazil Constitution. Freedom should come from within, from the society where you don't see this all the anarchy, all the problems. People are fighting with each other. So
you want to pick on that quickly because I have to move to the second story.
Definitely. So freedom and the slogans that were raised, they have to be understood in the context. The context was in the JNU, there were widespread protests spearheaded by people like Kanhaiya Kumar, and the slogans were blatantly anti-India. They were talking in the context of Kashmir. They were saying, "Hum kya chahte hai azadi."
Okay.
Right? So
fair enough. So there was a context, but we have to move to the second story, which is an important one. From which way today in Delhi to which way today in Bengal. And friends, Prime Minister was campaigning in Bengal today. He took that opportunity to hit at Mamata Banerjee, the Bengal Chief Minister, for having dragged the monks of ISKCON, the monks of Ramakrishna Mission, Shawan,
And in fact,
the monks of Bharat Sevashram Sangh. For Mamata effectively called them the BJP agents, and the Prime Minister did not like it.
In fact, this is not the first time when Mamata Banerjee has actually said that these are BJP agents that are working. If you remember, during the West Bengal polls too, a similar allegation was essentially made about the fact that how they were basically brought in from other states. The entire campaigning, if you see, has now been structured in West Bengal about outsiders versus insiders.
Right.
Particularly with the BJP, that they are trying to dub it as a party which is not from West Bengal and does not really understand the issues of West Bengal. But having said that, remember, there is also, once again, that entire aspect, whether at all, Mamata Banerjee is doing this only to appease what many would
Who's
say
outsider?
their vote bank.
Who's outsider really? Please tell us, who's outsider? Is Yusuf Pathan an outsider or insider?
So definitely, these elections are national elections. You can't have,
Is Shatrughan Sinha an outsider or insider?
Is Modi is outsider and insider? On
No,
Banaras.
but for BJP, it's not the issue. It's for Mamata, it's the issue,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
So who's the outsider?
so
Yusuf Pathan
definitely-
is the outsider or insider?
There should be
Shatrughan
no-
Sinha, Kirti Azad.
Definitely these, or whether people from the BJP or the TMC, they should not be termed as outsiders in the first place by any political party. These are national elections. Bengal is as much, I have a claim in Bengal as does Mamata Banerjee, right? And that is the basis of a nationalistic politics.
But you think, Mr. Mishra, that Mamata was actually pandering to her vote bank by targeting organizations like Ramakrishna Mission, like ISKCON?
See, the debate always has been around appeasement versus polarization, right? BJP has been playing the politics of polarization and always been accusing the opponents as a politics of appeasement. If you look at what Mamata has said, is what actually BJP has said multiple times. BJP has been taking that baton of Hinduism, talking about Ram temple and everything.
Will this not be seen as also another kind of appeasement politics? Because at the end of the day, when you actually end up saying monks are BJP agents, is because there is a logic that she's trying to bring in, and that logic is, once again, the appeasement aspect to it.
See, if you question someone, there will always be other side to that question. If you really want to look at the other side of the question, that's a different story. But the question is all about what you are trying to do is a polarization. If you ask the questions against the polarization, you are termed as doing a politics
Isn't
appeasement.
she then indulging in polarization?
No, she is not. So she has been
How is
telling
this
all
not
these
polarization?
religious outfits, all these religious outfits are the one, all these religious instruments are the one, we should be running the campaign in their own purview. They should not be political on the first place. Why ISKCON temple Temple will bother whether it's in government of Modi or Rahul Gandhi comes to the center, because they are not in political outfit.
No, there is a reason. There is a reason, right?
So if somebody is advocating in a particular party in any matter, that has to be questioned.
No, there might be a reason why ISKCON, I don't know for what specific instance Mamata Banerjee targeted them, but there might be a reason, right, Mr.
I
Agarwal?
would say this is TMC appeasement politics gone too far. Appeasement till now was still acceptable till as long as you are pandering to a particular community. But to pander to a particular community, if you are antagonizing the other community, that is appeasement gone too far. Please appreciate organizations like Ramakrishna Mission and like the Bharat Sevashram Sangh. They have more than 100 years legacy behind them. They have been engaged in socio-cultural activities, promoting spiritualism, promoting
Mamata made a
Hinduism.
mistake?
So Mamata Banerjee has, she has stepped on her own toes, I would say. She's given to the BJP an election issue on a platter.
Yeah,
where
I
she
mean,
need not
actually
have.
the point he's making is irrespective of whether BJP picks it up or not, obviously BJP would pick it up. BJP in its politics likes to bat on the front foot. But even if the BJP does not pick it up, you see, Mamata might have antagonized a section of those who are followers of these organizations. There's a huge following in Bengal.
See, my religious belief does not decide that whether I should vote for BJP or Congress. BJP may try.
But
to
what about the followers of ISKCON?
that's
What about the
that's right.
followers of Ramakrishna
The
Mission?
followers of Ramakrishnan, I think they shouldn't be hurt on the first place, because she's not telling that Ramakrishna Mission or the ISKCON temple is doing something which is not politically correct or incorrect. What she's trying to tell is that why BJP is using all this, including the RSS. See, RSS, BJP also tells us something about RSS as well, that they have been serving the nation from plenty years. But same time, they are a political wing of BJP. BJP has been using all these tools, basically all these organizations as their political tools to create that.
RSS is not the political wing of the BJP. It's actually the BJP which is perhaps the political wing of the RSS.
What I'm trying to say is that all these communities, BJP has been using them as a tool to basically go and reach out to voters to bring that Hindutva feeling. Sorry?
No, the question here is that you are accusing an institution which is perhaps older than some of these political parties that are questioning them right now, then labeling them as agents of one particular political party.
See, I think the intent is not accusing them of something. I think the intent is asking people
from
to.
what she says.
The intent is pretty much on the lines of please vote based on your political ideologies, not your religious ideologies. That's, I think, pretty much the intent to question that.
Okay, fair enough. I think the Prime Minister understands what it means, because what he said was that while Mamata should not be doing that, how dare she is what he said, but he also added that BJP perhaps is coming to power in Bengal, because maybe he can sense that this would have peeved the followers of these organizations which have a huge following in the state of Bengal. And maybe he can, as a politician, 24/7 politician, he understands that Mamata made a mistake, like, for example, Stalin's son actually made
Sanatan.
with the Sanatan comment. Okay, let's move on. And the third story, Shawar, would like to introduce the Baramulla vote. It's an important one actually happening tomorrow.
Absolutely. This just after the historic turnout that took place in Srinagar. The question here is that if you see, Abhishek, Baramulla has always come out in large numbers. That's for a different reason altogether. But the question here is about we're looking at the elections taking place after the abrogation of Article 370.
Yes.
How do you really read into it? The second aspect is the interesting three-way fight that's taking place in Baramulla. Sajjad Lone being on the one side, and the other happens to be Umar Abdullah himself. And more importantly, whether at all this voter turnout, if it is pretty much like what we saw in Srinagar, then how do we really read it? Because if you see across the border, they appear to be in a complete tizzy. We have had 2 attacks that have taken place in Shopian and Pahalgam, and that's a clear-cut Pakistani state-sponsored terrorism that has taken place. So there are different ways of looking at it. How do you really look at, number one, the voter turnout?
See, the voter turnout, as you rightly mentioned, Baramulla typically reports higher voter turnout vis-a-vis Srinagar or Anantnag Rajouri this time, earlier Anantnag, South Kashmir. But I think what is important is that if Srinagar goes from 7% or 9% to 36%, right, or from 14% to 36%. Then in Baramulla's case, if it was 36% or 38% in general elections last time, 2019, does it go to 50%, 60%, which effectively would be national average? Mr. Agrawal.
Absolutely. So what we are seeing in Kashmir is a new kind of politics. I'll go to that extent. Please appreciate, with the abrogation of Article 370, this is the first time such an election is being conducted, and people, at least in the rallies of all three leaders, whether it is Omar Abdullah or Sajid Lone or that engineer fellow, right, they're turning up in very large numbers. And this indicates a kind of people's faith in the electoral exercise. Now, whether that translates into numbers is another important matter. I will not go so far as to say that this is an endorsement of the abrogation of Article 370, but definitely it does indicate that people are, posing their faith in the democratic exercise. You have former separatist organizations like Hurriyat. So Sajid Lone, the son of the Hurriyat founder, he is asking people to come out and vote. Engineer who has been, in jail for the past 4 or 5 years on terror funding charges, he is asking people to vote and coming out with slogans like "Jail ka badla vote se," right? Which indicates a very constructive and new kind of politics in Kashmir.
Ashwini, you agree with this much that at least insofar as democratic mobilization is concerned, this has been a fantastic election to the credit of the Modi government this time?
See, in spite of being BJP critic, I still believe BJP might have done some good work with respect to transportation, roads and all. Even 370 I consider is a good move. But the problem is the intent of 370 has not seen the results on the ground. 370 was abrogated a long time back, but we haven't seen election in Kashmir so far. It's been quite some time. So if we are telling this is the endorsement of 370 right now, I don't accept. I don't agree with that, because when you abrogate something, you should be having election after some time, at least not like after so many years. Having said that, yeah.
You mean to say it should have happened earlier?
It should have happened earlier.
General election time?
Not this general election, the local elections of Kashmir, which hasn't happened yet. I mean, there is still president rule happening there, right? So the thing is that how I see this election is, look at BJP's indirectly supporting Sajjad Lone, who was the PDP minister that point of time when BJP was in coalition.
Not PDP minister, an ally minister.
Ally minister. So that means BJP still has not shy away from their alliances with PDP that point of time. So if you look at the BJP's whole policy in the valley, I think it's a bit of towards the hypocrisy that we are telling that we have done something fabulous, but it's not coming or seen on the ground as a result. Let's see what kind of voting percentage turn out to be tomorrow. That will tell actually whether 370 has helped the nation or it's pretty much in the same shape.
Well, thank you so much. Going by Srinagar, I think it has helped, and the numbers were highest since 1998. Well, and that gives you an idea of the kind of mobilization of people coming out and not just campaigning, but coming out to vote is happening.
Well, in fact, there was also this big fear, Abhishek, that whether this is going to be a rerun of what we saw back in 1986 about rigging being the larger issue. But the reality is that this sends across a very strong message of where we are and what is it that we have really achieved. That's all that we could pack in this edition of Which Way today.
And of course, join both Shawan and me and Niranjan tomorrow morning as we bring to you rolling coverage from the ground of the fifth phase of polling. 49 seats going to vote. Important candidates there: Piyush Goyal, Rajnath Singh, Smriti Irani, and of course Rahul Gandhi. All those tomorrow. Join us from morning. Thank you so much for watching Which Way Today.